At this training session, we are stopping at the DP-specific procedures, and in details we are going to discuss approaching Worksite, giving some precautions about that. We will highlight what is consequences analysis. We will find out what is capability plot diagram, and we will give the comments about DP footprint plot. Also, we will give some details how to construct the footprint plot on board. Finally, we have a right time to talk a little bit about the procedures connected with the long station keeping near offshore structure. And our next topic is called as approaching worksite. Under worksite, we understand the area at close proximity of offshore structure. It depends in what location you are going to work. Many of them have the specific procedures about operations inside of 500 meters safety zone. As a general rule, under international law, we have 500 meter zone, entrance inside of which is not allowed to any vessel, and the entrance inside of 500 safety zone may be performed only after the permission provided from the installation, both in written and verbally. Generally, our approach consists from some main stages. First, the vessel must be ready for further DP operations near installation, and then the vessel should select the appropriate direction of approach. And very often, many companies require only lee side approach. By the latest safety circular, what I know, the preparation for entrance inside of 500 meter zone should be done at 200 meters before 500 meter zone. So actually at 700 meters away of the installation. Before to make approach, it is recommended to make the drift test to find out the direction of the vessel drift under the environments. And then the DP bridge team must plan the escape route for the emergency situation, and the escape route should be the least power maneuver route. Then all DP checklist and checks must be performed, recorded, and marked in the logbook. After that, permission must be provided to enter inside of 500 meter zone. Operator should know the rig's heading and the vessel's final heading under the installation, should plan it in advance. We have to bear in mind the influence of the wind when we are planning the approach. Due to offshore structure shape, the wind may create the blow-on sector and blow-off sector, which will appear due to the structure shape. It is recommended to proceed under the rig in blow-off sector if available, and it is not recommended to cross the blow-on sector on short proximity near the rig. Then, operator should divide maneuver on steps and might proceed in appropriate mode with appropriate speed limits, and the main target for DPO is to prepare the vessel for after position on a safe distance. Normally this is amount 200 meters from the rig. From that area the vessel might proceed in auto position mode till final position, which is 10-meter clearance away from the structure. As international law, what we know, the Next critical zone for DPO after entrance inside of 500 meter zone will be the area of 50 meters. In that area, the speed of the vessel must be less than half a knot. This is international law. And finally, when what we discussed is taken in account, when we receive the 500 meter zone permission, we are entering and proceeding under our plan with planned escape route in our head and trying to adjust our heading clearance, which might be about 30 degrees compared with the heading of the platform. For example, a rig has 0-degree heading and we are proceeding from starboard side, then our final heading will be no less than 30 degrees. Then, when we reach 200 meter zone and stabilize the vessel, we transfer control to auto position and divide maneuver on steps, proceeding with appropriate steps. About that on the next slide. We continue approaching Worksite topic, and as a general rule, we have to remember that our maneuver might be divided on sub-steps, giving us the plan of approach. And after the drift test, we decided what heading we will keep in final position near the rig. We received permission to enter, and we are proceeding towards 500 meter zone. Normally, offshore supply boat or anchor handling tug proceed with the stern ahead. That vessel is designed to work like that on a final approach. Entering inside 500 meter zone, we remember that mainly we have some speed limit, which is about 3 or 4 knots on entrance. Or some locations require to reduce the speed till 0 value. At 200 meter zone, we have to reduce our speed, and from 100 till 200 we proceed with the speed no more than 1 knot. At 200 our speed reduced till 0 and vessel control transferred in auto position or semi-automatic control, leaving the axis surge on a joystick. Some captains may do like that, proceeding on joystick till 100 meters on the surge axis. But generally, we lock all 3 axes in auto, adjust our sway, adjust our heading. As soon as vessel stabilized, we proceed with the step 20 meters per one set in increment till 100 meter zone. From 100 meter zone, we proceed with the step 10 meters per set in increment till 50 meter zone. All of that time, where we are being on maneuver, we proceed adding each waypoint or set point in advance without stopping the vessel. But from 50 meters, we proceed with a speed less than half a knot, better 0.2, 0.3 knot, and we proceed maximum with a set point as a 5 meters per one set, expecting of performance per each set point. And many operators transferring the system units for speed control in meters per second to be able to calculate how long that would take them to proceed with a certain speed, that amount of meters what they did as a set point. Many companies require the final position clearance as a 10 meters away from the structure or rig, It is not allowed to keep the vessel stored under the rig deck or structure deck. This is a general rule. So, divide maneuver on steps, use appropriate speed limits, and last step must be less than 5 meters per set. Remember those gold rules and follow your company procedures, which may be a little bit different from proposed here. Today it is very popular to have inside of company procedures appropriate poster which describes maneuver of worksite approach, and there you may find the estimated speed set points and estimated time given for maneuver, and very often that poster is placed somewhere near DP system as a memory paper to follow. And as example, you see that here I have 6 minutes to go from 500 to 200. From 200 to DP setup I have 15 minutes, and from 200 till 50 meters I have 6 minutes, and last 50 meters we do in 3 minutes. So generally we have at least half an hour to pass the 500 meter zone, and about 15 minutes for preparation of DP vessel on arrival, and normally you have to keep 45 minutes or 1 hour per 500 meter zone approach, because also there are some procedures which might be performed before entering inside 500 meter zone and when you are entering 500 meter zone. And as you see on my example here, we have received instructions as number 1, then as number 2, 500 meter zone checklist must be completed, and then DP field arrival checklist must be completed if this is a first installation and if charter require like that. Then job safety analysis or risk assessment and toolbox talk must be applied and completed with the crew. And then you have to ensure that final location ASOG is fully completed. ASOG means Activity Specific Operational Guidance, also one special procedure which we have in offshore. And when you are at last 200 meters, DP setup checklist must be completed, which ensures that all components of DP system found okay and ready for final approach. So all of that is time consuming, and generally you need about 45 minutes or 1 hour to finish all of that if you are following the procedure. And from the vessel side, you need to ensure that you are proceeding in final position with the prepared mathematical model, which takes in procedures about half an hour to build the model, or 30 minutes. So, and here is the answer for the question, why should I switch on DP out of 500 meter zone? Because the last 500 meter zone you go on DP, building the model and preparing the vessel till final operations with the structure. Also from the vessel side, the proximity of 500 meter zone must be controlled, and unauthorized entrance is not allowed inside of 500 meter zone. And That could be done with the use of radar, of course. Some guys try to use also VRM on the EGDIS, but please remember EGDIS is anti-grounding tool and the radar is a anti-collision tool. So use your radar with the appropriate VRM ring, and the minimum this is 500 meters radius ring, which is 0.27 nautical mile or 0.3 nautical mile, and better of course to keep 700 meter clearance, because this is the latest what I know about offshore practice, to be ready for operations with appropriate clearance from the safety zone. And if you're expecting your approach, so keep appropriate clearance from safety zone. Do not try to keep the vessel exactly at the border or at the edge of 500 meter zone, because if something goes wrong, then you are automatically crossing without permission the safety zone, and that will not give you the valuable references from the charter and offshore structure. Remember that, please.